Move these two juniper evergreens over here in this area. This area is filled with terracotta pots and evergreens, and I'm very excited about the look. Two arborvitaes that you see inside of these containers, those were on the patio in the concrete urns. So we moved those off from that location and we brought those over here. They have been in these containers. They're doing well. I'm liking the look. Now the plan was to go in and shape the one on this side similar to the one on this side. I did not go in and prune it back and shape it up to a ball because eventually that's going to be the shape that it's going to take. But because I was dealing with roots versus what was at the top, I felt like it was more important to go ahead and focus on root development. So when I transplanted these, I put in a starter fertilizer that helped the roots. It's going to continue to help the roots. So now that we have these moved over here in this area, I want to head over because I have a thing for ranunculus. I don't know if you do, but I know I do. I love to use ranunculus. I always do a show with ranunculus every spring. I incorporate them into my different containers. But we have some ranunculus that are growing alone. So come on, let me show you what they're looking like. And we're also going to fertilize them. Ranunculus are some of the most prettiest flowers, and I know you guys, I got the stick in my hand, but guess what? We are getting ready to fertilize, and I'm going to need something to stir the fish fertilizer up. So you want to go in and you shake. It just takes so long to shake this up. Hold on one second. Okay, so with your fish fertilizer, and I have videos in the past where I've talked about how I start my ranunculus from corms. So they come from a little bitty corm. I pre-sprout them, and this is where we are. This is just the ones that I have left over because I've been working in my plant room all day. So ranunculus are so pretty. If you've never seen them, they resemble kind of like a rose. They're just gorgeous to use in spring containers, and I'm preparing for my spring show right now. I have a big spring show every season, always beautiful no matter which direction that I take. So I'm going to finish fertilizing these ranunculus here, and then we will move on to the next thing, which, you guys, these ranunculus, they're absolutely beautiful. Last season, I had tons of ranunculus up here. I mean, tons of ranunculus. And you guys, we ain't even gonna get into that, but everything was a success. All of them sprouted. It was amazing. I used several of them in different container arrangements, but I really love ranunculus. They're just absolutely amazing. So what I want to do now, and also, if you are growing ranunculus, remember that ranunculus is an aphid magnet. So you kind of want to keep them separated from the rest of your plants until they come into bloom. But when they're in this stage, the aphids love them. I'm going to let these soak up. And with the temperatures, they have been resting outside. I really only bring them inside if I know that we're going to rain, because I don't want any of my ranunculus to get too moist to where they can't tolerate and then they have issues with fungus and so on. I went ahead inside, work a little bit in the plant room.
Okay, so now with the amaryllis bulbs, this was the pink one that I showed you all, and it's already starting to crack. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this side to the sun. I'm going to take this one right here. I'm going to rotate. I'm going to take this one right here. I'm going to rotate. So you want to come in with your amaryllis bulbs. You want to rotate your amaryllis bulbs around. Rotate your amaryllis bulb around. So I rotated this one. And then this one right here, we are going to rotate this one around as well. Same thing for my Eugenia topiary. Now I am going to rotate this one around as well. Same thing here, rotate this one around. We will rotate this one around. Now let's water. I'm going to start out watering is my Eugenia topiary. So we're going to water this in, including the moss. Now we'll move on to the next one. We're going to water this one in. A little bit of water around the amaryllis bulb, not too much. Let's go refill. Just a little bit. Let's get this red and white one back here. Just a little. And if you get the bulb, that is okay. But try not to just saturate the water on the bulb. While we're here, let's water in the myrtles here. You see how good the myrtles look? And I'll get the one at the top as well. And what we'll do is, now that I'm looking at these, I think I want to pot this up. So let's go ahead, let's grab this. I'll stop in another area and grab some more plants, and then we're going to plant this pretty baby up.
Here, but then I also have this beautiful aged container. Now, the detailing on this is absolutely beautiful, and I just really love it. I want to know what you all are thinking about this container. If we get in close, we can see that there is a vintage age vibe to this container. I love the texture. Can you see the cracking? I just love it. Look at it. I mean, all the way around. If you do a 360 around the pot, it's absolutely amazing and gorgeous. I feel like this makes a very good companion for what we're going to pop in here. So let's get soil inside and let's plant this baby up. The detailing on this pot, where you can see how vintage and age it looks, is absolutely marvelous and is gorgeous. And I love how the berries just accent this pot so well. It is the perfect example of how to use red in such a subtle way to bring out your holiday decor. This is absolutely beautiful and amazing, and the top just accents everything so well.
Now let's get a saucer.
This container is going to sit on the table. I love it. It's absolutely stunning. It's so beautiful. And I can already see that the Gothera here is starting to get a little bit of its flowers. So you'll get these red berries with the Gothera. I am totally obsessed with the way that all of this looks. I mean, it's beautiful. Now let's water this beautiful plant in. So we're going to water this baby in really well. Now with the Gothera likes a lot of water, as does the myrtle. So we're going to make sure we keep the soil evenly moist with the Gothera. This is one of the ones I just love to use in my holiday plantings. I just love them. I put them outside. I put living plants outside during the season. Yeah, in the wintertime. I stretch plants and I push them to the limit. So now that we have this beautiful container planted up and it's on an aged saucer, I just grabbed the aged saucer for right now. This is not the saucer that goes to this. And you guys, this is a prototype. So let me know what you think about this container down in the comment section. Now that we have this beautiful beauty planted up, let's run to the Dollar Tree because I am getting together some Christmas gifts that when family and friends come over, I can send them with something, and it'll be very inexpensive for me because I have a ton of amaryllis bulbs that I always give out during the holiday season. So anytime I have a guest come to my home and they leave, they always want to come and tour and see what things are looking like, not only in my garden, but also on the inside of my home. So I like to send them with gifts because otherwise then they'll see something like this and then they'll pull on your heartstrings and try to get you to give it to them. Now with my nieces, when my nieces see something, I will go ahead and part with like different myrtles and things like that, different cuttings with my nieces because I really want them, and my nephews too, but it's more so my nieces because I really want them to get into gardening. So I will part with something like that. But for everyone else, I do like to try to have something on hand that I can give to you, whether it be a cutting during the season, whether it be some hydrangeas that I just started off and I'm growing them along to use for this type of arrangement or that type of arrangement. Let's go ahead. Let's run to the Dollar Tree because I'm going to show you the gifts that I'm preparing to give to my family and friends when they stop by my home, whether it be for tea or just to see how I'm doing.
Go to the bell section right here, and you have a selection of different type of bells. These are doorknob hangers, but we're going to be using them in a completely different way. So choose whatever one matches with your decor. So we have gold, we have silver, we have a little bit of silver and white going on, but then we also have gold. All different types of one. Whatever one fits in with your theme, that's the one that you want to grab. This is nice, but we kind of want to go with something a little bit more muted. These will work. Let's grab two for right now and then we'll head back. Here's our amaryllis bulbs right here. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you what I'm thinking about for the gifts. And it is super hot in here. Let's check the temp on our way back. Let's turn this heat down to about 68. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and just cut it off.
Add your soil in. Once you have the soil in, then you're just going to go in and anchor your bulb, but you want to put it down. I like to sink mine in the soil just a little bit. This one is a white. This one is a red. I'm going to water this in. Now, what I want to do, and I actually should have done this before I planted it up, but the reason why I did it this way is because I don't want any dirt getting on my ribbon and so forth. Left a lip here because we're going to add some mechanics in here. So now we do have the amaryllis bulb. Don't worry, it is leaning over to the side, but if you want to, you can correct it with how you plant it in, right? Also can go in and add some mechanics. In here, I have the lights, and then I also have the doorknob hanger, right? This right here, it looks good the way that it is, but this can definitely be dressed up to make it not look as on the budget side. We also have some lights here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take this, so if we let it hang right here, it hangs down too low. So we're going to come in and we are just going to flip this just like this, and then we're going to pull everything through. Now what I like to do is I like to sit mine in the kitchen, so we're going to set this to the side real quick, and we're going to clean up this mess so we'll have a nice semi-clean space to work with. And I want it to be nice and thick. So we have our ribbon on. It looks completely different. Now, because we have some height on our amaryllis here, this amaryllis is getting ready to crack. Now, it is linked over because the way it was being stored. I have amaryllis in different phases of blooms, and I like to keep them on hand because they come in handy for gifts like these. So now we're going to go in, we're going to add a little bit of mechanics here. So the only thing that we're doing is we're coming in and we are just going to add some mechanics. So that way our amaryllis bulb is not going to topple over. Now I'm going in with green. You can use silver, you can use gold, whichever way you want to use your mechanics to help stabilize your bulb, go ahead and do it. I'm using the green because it fits more in with the Christmas theme that I'm doing here. But again, whatever color you want to use is perfectly fine. Okay, now you can leave this sticking up, but I am going to be pushing mine down as far into the soil as I can get it. And this is going to help stabilize this amaryllis bulb. And I'm going to move this one over a little bit closer to the bulb. Just like that, just to kind of stabilize it in so it doesn't topple over. So let's get in close so I can show you what the mechanics look like. Here's an up close of what the mechanics look like on the inside, and it's stabilizing that bulb. You can see it's literally anchoring it in.
Now you can have this coming out, but I wanted it to be right tight up against the bulb because I don't want anything coming out the top.
With the lights, you can kind of leave the lights tied up, or you can have them just coming out. I like the thought process. Normally when I do these and I do use the lights or any type of snowflakes, I like to have them just coming up slightly to where you can just see them. So just a star just gazing above everything. So let's wire these in. See that? See how you have that light just coming up? Okay, so right now we're going to just have them coming up high.
Everything looks wired in. Now we're going to cover all of this up.
I'm going to use a generous helping of moss. So let's get some of this out. And I want it to come up a little bit, come up higher. Now I like to wrap mine in a plastic bag. Tuck it down on in there. That way it gives it a little bit of protection during watering. Let's kill the light. Okay, so this is how much light it shows in the nighttime. We have everything covered up, everything tucked in. So now, even though the amaryllis bulb is leaning this way, it's going to straighten up, right? Because I had to move it because the shelf that it was on, it was becoming too tall. So I took it and I moved it so it was facing towards the light. I know this one right here is a red. So for example, I will take a little tag and I will stick the tag down on the back of it so I'll be able to know. So I'll stick this one right here with the white one, and let me make one for the red really quick. All right, so let's write this out real quick. And all I will do is I will come in and I will just tuck this in the back. So that way everyone will know what it is. And let's add all of this up. So we have the bulb. Let's say if you're storing your bulbs over from 1 year to the next, let's count the bulb as free, okay? We have the moss. If you're doing your containers and you have moss on hand, that's free. We have the same ribbon that we use on our Christmas tree, our geranium Christmas tree. We have that here. And so we spent $1.25 because the Dollar Tree is no longer the Dollar Tree. We spent $1.25 on the door knocker, and then we spent $1.25 on the ice bucket and $1.25 on the battery pack. So when we add that all up, that's $3.75 plus the soil. We have soil on hand. So here it is, a $3.75 gift that you can give to your friends. You can also use these as hostess gifts as well. I'm doing a private planting party, and one of the gifts that I recommended to the hostess was to go in and do something like this versus sending everyone home with something more along the lines of this right here. Drop down in the comment box. Let me know, are you growing your ranunculus alone? If you are, what stage are you in? Are you growing ranunculus this year? Have you grown ranunculus in the past? And I know I always say ranunculus, but it's ranunculus. I already know. I want to know, are you growing ranunculus? What do you think about this arrangement here? I love the contrast. I love the color. I'm so excited. I'm not going to be shaping up my myrtle just yet because I want my myrtle to put on as much growth as it can during the season, which this is typically the dormant phase. So I'm not expecting for too much growth. If it grows out a little bit, it lets me know that it's happy. So that's what I'm kind of looking for. I'll shape this a little bit later. Let me know what you think about this prototype here. So let's continue this conversation down in the comment box, and I'll see you guys in the next one because we have so much in store for this season.